Greetings, everyone. Welcome back after somewhat of a hiatus to your favorite show, and I'm sure a show you've been missing, Lore of Warcraft. It is GleeCon. I missed you. So there's two sides to why we had such a hiatus. I think it has been not this Tuesday that just passed, but the Tuesday before that. So Tuesday would have been 1 week, and then we're at Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. So 12 days, by far the longest that I've ever been without making, probably twice as long as the other time. So there's two reasons why we had such a long hiatus. And for those of you that are just tuning in for the first time, go ahead and skip ahead a couple minutes. But for those of you that are long-term fans, I owe it to you. I missed you guys, so I'll just kind of do a little rundown. There was a perfect storm, a confluence of events that really led to me having such a long time off. Half of it was that just the way that the logistics worked on our 9 characters here, because I'm not double dipping on any shows. The last online thing we did was, I want to say it was maybe, I'm trying to remember. I think it was Callie with our priest, and she was wrapping up, or maybe not. Maybe it was even past that. No, yeah, it couldn't have been Kelly. So I think it was Farinel. That's the last one. So when we did the elite quests against the elite werewolves, that was that Tuesday, not this past, but the previous Tuesday, where we did some of the Aragol quests and we had a small party. So what then led to Callie would have been double dipping finishing up Westfall, so that wasn't on camera. Then I brought Erator over, and he began Redbridge, but because of the alternation that I do with Callie and Erator, that's on the block for Callie to be on video, so that means that happened off camera. Then Varrock came, and he's currently sharing with 3 in the Barrens, and it was Talanji that went last time, so my 3 that are in the Barrens are Varrock, Talanji, and Muln. So that means that Varrock is not up next. Talanji just did it, so Muln will be the next Baron's camera. So that means that both Varrock and Talanji had to get skipped and happen off camera. Then we also had Nessingwary, where we're going back and forth between Nessingwary and Millicent, and Nessingwary was the last one that we did on camera. So that means it's old Millie's turn, which if you want to stay a while and listen, we're going to hop in with Millicent this time and finish off Loch Modan. Also, Millicent and Nessingwary, well, they need another zone before they continue on with, say, the wetlands or wherever they go next.
Hello.
Well, that zone,
Safe travels.
turns out for both in my planning, is going to be Redbridge. So that meant I had to do a second off-camera catch-up video with Nessingwary. So we're talking about 6 or 7 rotations, and in between each rotation, there's planning on my part, there's legwork. I do a little bit of other things so that I'm not only doing this in my life. So if there's any other gaming that I'm doing, like getting ready for Diablo 4, that's happening off camera. And I'm thinking about when Diablo 4 comes out, doing something else too. Maybe creating a parallel side channel or doing something on Twitch. We'll talk about that closer too, but I am thinking about doing some streaming gaming sessions on Twitch to kind of help. And Cuzzy, I have to say, has given me a lot of ideas as the show. This viewer, Cuzzy21, hey, shout out to you. Definitely one of the OG, or Kuzi, I don't know how you pronounce it, but Cuzzy is how it sounds in my mind. It's given me a lot of ideas, and a lot of things that will happen in the show definitely came there when we eventually do maybe like a screen sharing play of the World of Warcraft board game through a virtual app. That was Cuzzy's idea, or that was something that I had as an idea that Cuzzy kind of expressed interest for. There's also some this idea of, hey, you know what, press through and do the Burning Crusade, because I mentioned on a previous episode, what am I going to do with the Burning Crusade? And there's so much backlog like we have on this. What we just experienced is 12 days. If I don't do double dipping videos, which I might, now I'm going to save those cloths, and I'm ready to move to wool. But I'm going to use, there's actual linen that I can use. So I'm going to save and like make copper modulators with the other linen and make that when I go back into town, which is going to happen here. So all of this is to say that we've got some work ahead of us, and we have some cool ideas coming up. And the fans, not just Cuzzy, I've gotten a lot of good ideas over the life of this show. So we'll talk about the other half. I said there was 2 things, but all of the backlog of show probably contributed to about half of that time. The fact that anytime I have had an opportunity to come and play, it's been off the screen stuff. And I want that to be less of an issue when we move on to the next expansion, maybe even sooner. So I might start the Twitch stuff sooner rather than later. And if there's any interest in that, guys, maybe I'll do like set times for that, or I won't be able to do set times, and you'll just see, hey, this guy's streaming right now and whatever, and I'll try my best to kind of talk and play along. We shall see. Okay, so before I get into the second half, which is more boring, and that's real life stuff, let's kind of look at what we're going to do this time. So we have this quest, which is going to just be one quest here. It leads up to a quest here, which is a fight, and then an escort, which leads down here. So it's kind of like a 1, 2, 3, but it really is all in a row. We can do that right now. Then there's this quest. This quest is just one thing that sends us over here, and then when we come back, it gives us a breadcrumb deep into the wetlands. So it's going to be something she sits on for a while. We have this quest right here, which I'll talk about in a second, this Charged Rift Gems. And then we have all of the level, the elite quests. So we're going to keep an eye out for anybody asking for a quest, because this is something we have to do with pretty much a full party. So we'll save that there for a minute as well. That'll be last, but altogether, even with the full party stuff, it's not going to take that long. So first off, before we go run and do this... Oh, thanks. Thanks, bro. Someone just threw me some potions. Okay. So, Mystic Dragon just threw me some potions. That's cool, I'll take them for sure. You know, that old Millie can't she's a blessed character. And with that being said, we need to get a major F in the chat. So as we walk up to this quest up here, ladies and gentlemen, it is with the heaviest of heart to say, and maybe some subconscious level, this also kicked off such a large break from the show, but Maleficent has left the ranks of the hardcore. She died. Shortly after the last video that we did, when I did a previous off-camera run, this actually happened before the last video, and I've been keeping it in my heart and keeping it away from you guys. As soon as she switched over to this server, things changed, and I think that was what threw her. I did the quest on here that I did with Nestingwary, where we had to go into these caves right here and kill those 3 named trogs to finish it off. Well, before that, she had a mage quest, and I am sorry that I did this off camera. Let's kind of look it up really quick first. Oh, I'm glad I didn't break all those things down, because I need 10 of the linen for this quest. Woo. All right, so first, this quest is called Gathering Materials. So first, let's talk about that before we talk about our funeral for Millicent. It's called, oops, I already forgot the name of it. It is called Gathering Materials. So let's look at that. Gathering Materials Classic. Wow, it's a mage quest, so let's just kind of take a peek here. So this is the second in a chain called Report to Janaea, Investigate the Blue Recluse, and I've done those 2. Now I think Report to Janaea, I did that one on camera, maybe not. Basically, whatever mage you talk to in Ironforge says, your knowledge of your craft grows, Millicent, as you are ready. Are you now ready to begin your true lessons? Are you ready to take your place in the secret war we wage? If so, then speak to Janaea Cannon in the Wizard Sanctum in the Mage District of Stormwind. She has a task for you, which will open your first window into the invisible world. And then you go through the portals at the top of the Mage Tower, and she says, I have a message for you, Millicent, in the Mage District. Listen closely, there's no time to waste. Okay. The next quest that I did off camera is called Investigate the Blue Recluse. Now this is a inn, and if you look here, this is like a Ghostbusters quest essentially. So it says a disturbance has been reported at the Blue Recluse Tavern in the Mage Quarter. Strange invisible creatures now wander the tavern, and I fear a mana rift has formed there. I want a mana rift. I want you to investigate the tavern and capture those creatures. Use the Cantation of Manifestation in the cavern to make the creatures visible. Subdue them. Then use a containment coffer to capture them. When you have enough, return to me with your filled coffers, your empty coffers, and the cantation. And then in the meantime, they'll say, have you captured the creatures, Millicent? They must be subdued, studied in order to determine the reason behind their arrival. And when you all turn it in, very well done. I will study these creatures and with diligence and luck determine how they slipped into our world. Your value to the Society of Mages grows, Millicent, and then they send us on this quest. Okay, but an aside here, let's just check that we're all alive. We are fine. And we're also keeping our eye out, because if someone starts calling out to form a group for the thing, we're going to jump on and drop everything that we're doing. We're going to jump and join that group, but I don't see it. All right, so ostensibly what it says happens. You go to this inn. There's a scroll you can read, and when that happens, I don't know, there's a particle effect or a light flash, whatever, on your screen, and then you can see these mana wraiths, or whatever, not wraiths, I don't know. They're almost like mana void walkers running around. They are yellow, which typically indicates that they are non-hostile. What it is neglected to say is that every single one that has line of sight to you will bum rush you. So Millicent very close came to dying. So the trick to it, this is just my tip to you, unless you're very high level, just peek your way into the inn into where you can just barely have line of sight to one. And when I mean line of sight, I mean literal line of sight. It does not matter how far away they are. Then use the cantation, then run your butt out of the inn. And you'll draw one, maybe two of them. Okay, then what you have to do is you have to use the... I can't remember the order, but there's this thing you throw on the ground. I think you use it after they're dead. I'm pretty sure. But if you have to use it before, then you have to use it before. I can't quite remember, but that thing is called the whatever it is used to capture. It's not the what is it? It's the it says bring when you're filled coffers. It's a coffer. So you have a stack of empty coffers, infinite of them. So you throw an empty coffer. Then on the ground after you've killed them, I can't remember if it matters if you throw the coffer first. You click the coffer, and then it will oh yeah, that's what happens. When they're dead, they look like this with a little stun swirly above their head, and then you can click the coffer in front of them. Then click it again, and it will suck them inside. And you need to do that 3 times. So they're pretty tough. Millie almost died, but she had her typical luck, and I just thought, man, this girl's existence is charmed. This is all good. Well, then you get the next quest here, which is gathering materials. So you bring it back, and she says, you have served your fellow mages well, and now it's time to don your wizard's robe. Wynne Larson can make your robe, but you must bring her the needed materials. The robe will be made of linen, which is easy to find, but you must also gain charged rift gems, and the only known location of the gems is in the Silver Stream mine of Loch Modan, left in crates by the Dwarven Miners League. Gather the linen and the gems and bring them to Wynne Larson at the Larson Clothiers District in the Mage Quarter, which is where we're at now. I had the linen already just from fighting whatever I fought on the last quest, and now we're going to go into this cave, and we're going to get the rest of our charged crystals. So meanwhile, Millicent came back out here. She started doing the normal quest. She was killing Trog. She was doing various things that she does. And then I got to the quest where I saved it for last because I knew it was the hardest, the one I was most likely to die. She finished every other thing that we had on the last episode with Nessingwary. Well, if you remember, Nessingwary had a little bit of a hard time of that last quest, but he was able to kind of slowly pick his way into the dungeon and or the whatever you call it, the Trog cave. And after a while, he found the 3 guys, and then he kind of just did some hit and run tactics. And I felt like, well, I could probably do that with her. Just polymorph 1, do my best, it is what it is, and it would be okay. And the killing of the 3 guys, that actually was fine. I did exactly that. I was polymorph, I ran, I didn't die once fighting the actual 3 dudes. What got me was... Why can't I use that? Yeah. Okay. What got me was the fact that I should probably turn on my healing thing. These servers are not as like heavily tapped out as the other servers. So there was no the trogs were everywhere. And the lower level trogs, like the level 12s or whatever, I was cocky. I was like, I got this. I think I have it as my wand is what's going on instead of having shoot. That's, I think, what it is. Yeah, that's what's going to be going here. I think she's new to the wand game, yeah. Kind of wait and just see what she can do. Well, we'll let this guy. We'll let her build up her wand skill. Alright. So I'm gonna now just go ahead and conjure my food and drink and then let her... I'll eat one of my smoked sage fish here. Actually... Okay. So, just fighting my way into the cave in the first place. Non-stop spawning trogs. Way more than I could handle. And... yeah, that's the story. I was just mobbed. They would constantly respawn. I think it was literally a pack of like 12 mobs that ended up getting me. Like, I was running, I was doing my Frost Nova, I was polymorphing, I did everything I could, and she just ran. So, what this guy? Oh, he died. You know what? I bet you can help out just by shooting at this one that is engaged by him. And then, yeah. So as you can see, these crystals are found, and on this episode we'll bring them back because I really think we'll be okay. We'll be fine. Like this, I'm not worried about any of the quests that we have to do. I think it'll be fun. But yes, it was heavy with a heavy heart that I did it. But it does allow us, I guess, to move forward with like a. Hey, I think they're joking when it says the Knights of Stormwind, blah blah blah. I don't think they're gone. I was just literally doing some activities. They're a very popular guild. But yeah, Millicent is fine. She's gonna. She's in the flesh. She's cool. Yeah, I'm just gonna keep on keeping on here with this. And remember, we're just looking for the elite quest. What is she? Well, she's level 17, so we're talking about an 85. I think that's what we need on wands to catch up to where we should be. So this is a nice quest to build that up. After this, I'll do another episode of Book. He's weird. Okay. So they're looking for the same thing I am. I wonder if there's like more than one thing. Like, because that's a priest, so. Go, got it. All right. So that's annoying. Hopefully they respawn kind of fast, because I still need 4 more. Now let's see if this person rudely takes my box. There we go. 35. Well, they didn't get a chance to take my box. Thanks for buffing me. I will give you a buff as well. We can help each other out. I'm tempted to use that dampen magic, but I haven't decided like whether dampen magic is something that we want to keep on. Okay, so she's starting to actually hit them sometimes though. Okay, she's up to 40. Now I feel kind of rude. Whoops. I guess I'll give this guy... Well, there's plenty in here. But we're competing for the same stuff. I mean, and if we're role-playing, Millicent is, you know, she's basically a bad guy. Kind of like one of these. I'm bad, but not evil necessarily. But yeah, Millicent died. Okay, so now what has led to the rest? Why else? Because just having all that off of time. So let's think about. So now you can kind of also tune out if you're not interested in what makes up my life. Ooh, look at that.
I can't carry any more.
So life, I'm just picking up and tossing some of this stuff. Oh. Okay. Spam cast some of this. So basically I mentioned on some other episodes that we've been doing some stuff in my real life. So one of the things, I mean, unfortunately I haven't reached big baller status yet to where I can just not work. So as it is right now, this is a hobby, although it is my main hobby, making this show. I love it, and I have aspirational goals for this show far beyond just being a hobby. For now, that's all it is, until I really just strike it big or whatever. The show is a hobby, and I have to devote time for, like everyone else has to, their actual life. But also, I have a job that, just like I have aspirations in this show, in the meantime, I have aspirations with my actual professional job. And I hope, oh, I forgot I have that awesome staff. See, oh, that's an offhand staff. But I think that's a two-hand staff, so I can't use it. That is cool, though. Huh. Okay. So, I basically, I put a lot into my actual job, too. I have motivations. I wouldn't say that I'm high up, but I do have goals that I work towards, and I have continued to kind of grow and increase my standing within my profession each year, and I have a lot of work that goes towards that. So there's a lot of things I do. So on top of that, then there's also coaching. So coaching has been a big part of my life, I would say, throughout my children's lives, and even now that my kids are kind of grown out of that phase of their life, with 3 of my kids being adults, and the youngest son isn't into like sports stuff, that coaching part of me hasn't really left, and a lot of the times I get kind of approached or I'm thrust into a situation where I kind of have to oversee some things. So I run a program, or I tried to hand it off last year, and it went pretty poorly. So this year there were some other people that were going to take the program over as well, and then they backed out at the last minute. So I found myself once again running a pretty large program, essentially coaching on my own 4 teams. of various skill levels. So I talked about the season. I talked about the different games that I had to coach. And so last week on Wednesday, we had a game. Oh, I didn't see that guy there. And it was a pretty big game. Not this past Wednesday that just passed, but the one before that. So it was a game that we were planning for a little while. We had to travel. It was a travel game. There was a pretty hyped up competition team. So that was out of town also. So that took up my Wednesday. Then Thursday I had 2 other games that I had to coach. So that took up Thursday. I was gone coaching on that day. So that was Thursday, I mean. So that was last week. Then Friday came, and I think maybe... I'm trying to remember what happened Friday. I think Friday and Saturday were some of those behind the scenes where I started doing some of these. Like I said, there was about 7 different behind the scenes off camera episodes I did. So Friday and Saturday, actually we can kind of hug in by the lake here, because now that I've completed that one, before I go turn it back in, I should pick that one up. We're gonna go down here. This one is naturally really close to that, so I'm gonna save that one for last. So Friday and Saturday I did about half of the on the scene works. Then I had a work trip that I had to do. So that took me Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. It's where I was. I was gone for work. My wife came with me, which was cool. My son was competing in my youngest son in an event, and he did really awesome, which was really great. But it was a state competition, and so we had all of these things kind of tied in, and that is where I was. I was out of town in a hotel Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then we came back Thursday, and Thursday I had the championship tournament that I had to oversee. So that was me coordinating probably 120 players through a tournament at the same time. The positive of that, my kids won, which was great. Not my own personal flesh and blood, but the players that I coached. So they got a couple. So like I said, I coached about 4 teams, but a couple of my teams we got first and second in the tournament. So the rest of the teams that we play were pretty salty, and I didn't directly coach that tournament. I just oversaw the whole thing, but it takes a lot of organization, a lot of time. I've been spending a lot of time out in the sun, so that took all day Thursday, or not all day, but I worked, and then that took all the way up into the evening. So theirs went Thursday. So then that has left this past Friday and Saturday, and that was the rest of my catch-up time. So now you can see where it's been. It's really just been that weird confluence of events where I've had so much off-camera time. Like I probably have done 10 hours of video content, just not on camera, in that time. And then I've also had a lot of work. All right, so back to the lore. This has been a very my life personal heavy, but hey, you're getting kind of, like I said, 12 days worth of stuff all smooshed in there. We've never had this happen before. I think on a vacation I took once, where I took almost a week. So yeah, like I said, this is all the time. So this is a cool quest right here. I like this one. I guess it's not really instanced content, because what happens is, depending on when you walk by these guys, I think it's like instant light. There is a group of dark iron dwarves and this guy named like Samuel or something that's attacking them. But if you walk by them, they'll be fine and they'll leave them. You don't have to help fight it, and then this quest will resolve itself. So I think I walked by these guys when I initially triggered that instant content. But basically, like 3 or 4 dark irons pop up. These are like bombs, and
you got my attention.
You're supposed to help them kill it, but yeah, they can't really die. So he says, this is Huldar and his friend Miran. Delivering these barrels to the excavation site is hard work. There's so many depending on us to get the blast powder there. We must do what we can against the Dark Irons. Resupplying the excavation. It'll take more than a Dark Iron ambush to stop the deliveries. But Shane, now I've suspected him to be one of their sympathizers. Been working with him for almost a year now. Maybe I missed the signs. Well, consider that later. That's the other guy. He's one of their friends. And originally, I think the first time, you can actually see, depending on where you come in the cycle of this little instance, he's with them and he like leaves off to go, I don't know, explore, take a poop, I don't know. And when he comes back, he's got his allies. Okay, after the ambush. We'd been hauling the barrels of powder back and forth in trips for this business. Now we have to split up the work. Merrin's taking the barrels and I'm washing over the other ones. I don't feel safe letting Merrin hold the rest of the shipment by himself. When he's ready to go, maybe you could escort him on his next trip.
Get her back.
Will do.
What's on your mind?
Okay. Hello, Mage. You'll be escorting me to the excavation site? That's good to hear. After Shane and his cronies, who knows what else the Dark Irons might have up their sleeves. Anyways, let me just make some final checks. Talk to me again when you're ready to go. Okay, and this is a very basic escort quest. I think there's maybe 1 to 2 packs you might have to fight. Protecting the shipment. Are you ready to go, Maleficent? First, we need to get this powder to Ironband. Be a lot for me to carry, and these parts can get dangerous. Who knows what else the Dark Irons might have in store for me. I feel a lot better at you coming along.
Be good.
Alright, this is our first intro ever into the Dark Irons. You may have seen when we explored Ironforge, Thalrisin, or whatever the girl's name is, Moira. Which is actually what I have a Dungeons and Dragons character named after her. She is and the lore that we've read, we've been exposed ourselves based on the chronicles and stuff, but this is our first real time we're going to see them. This one and this quest up here, where it's going to kind of start breadcrumbing us up from a storyline perspective into through the wetlands and beyond, whatever goes beyond the wetlands. Arathi, I guess, I don't know, the Searing, the Badlands or something. I'm not sure exactly. I imagine since this is an escort that he could possibly die. Oh look, there's a Cheeto over there. I'm looking for a group that's just spamming, but it's not what I haven't seen any calls for mercenaries and wanted Chok Soul. I'll start that chat myself up very soon. We have to walk him over to the excavation that we've already done. I would like to do these things a little bit different. So while we're walking with him, I'll also talk about some other side projects that I have had going on. So, playing through this with you guys on camera, there's something about Classic. I don't know. And I like retail, play it every day, but there is something about this. The world is still so huge. You can spend so much time. There is a feeling of progression in everything you do. Whether it's your weapon skills, the training of your pets, the fight to learn anything of importance. You want to get to that level 225 fishing, you better go find a fishing training manual. There's just something about it that Fellowship of the Ding, I like that. That's clever. And retail, I love it. I love my characters. I like doing mythics. I like the raids. I like the graphics. I like the bigger world. I like the oh, for a second I thought I killed that dude. Okay. Yeah. But yes, I like the storyline, like the world building. A lot of people complain that, they say, oh, it's not
Great to
good,
meet
whatever.
you.
I disagree. I really like it. I think there's a lot to be had. Like even in this most recent expansion, I just think there's something fun about it. But it gets redundant. Like going, even already, that new island, whatever, and you're going to go do the keys for the vaults, and very quickly it comes back to the fact of, like, thanks, I'm glad you took all the dailies I have to do out of it, but now I'm just right away back to, okay, I guess I can grind for achievements, I can grind in my thing of choice, whether that's mythics or raiding, or PvP, or whatever your thing of choice is, or work on alts. And that then brings us back to what are we going to do? And I'm an achievement guy. I'm an altaholic and an achievement guy. Saw another cool guild name the other day, the Ultimate Warriors.
Oh, think the light the powder is here, but it is troubling news that you bring as well. To think that the Dark Irons have sympathizers able to procure the certain material for their dastardly plans. That's a matter for someone else to consider. Some other time. I must put this powder to good use.
Off with you.
Give me that belt, bro. I need to sell something. I wonder if there's a shop here now. This actually does look better than what we have. She's still wearing her original belt. This guy has some stuff for sale. Cool.
Hi.
All right, so that was that whole quest line. We've done the whole mage quest line. I'm gonna sell that, even though it's kind of neat. Oh, that's conjured bread. What am I gonna do? Run out of space. She needs a bag. I guess I'm gonna sell this one single catfish I have. It's not worth a slot. Yeah, she's got to work on some engineering. We get back to Ironforge. All right, so now it's time for us to start looking for group for these guys. So we'll put this in chat and see if we get any bites. I don't think we need a full 5. We can probably do it with a 3 if I get a 3 squad, depending on who it is. I'm a little bit low. I ran it at 17 with Nessingwary, but we had a full group of 5, and everybody else was like in their 20s. Check out Pugs Not Drugs. Late night 20 bands. I wouldn't really call myself. I'm kind of a late nighter, but. All right, so my other projects going on. Basically, I like to play this game with my wife. So my wife is not a big gamer. Like, other than phone games, she does not play games unless it's with me. But over the years, she will definitely get on board and play with me. As long as her and I are teaming up together and not competing. We've played through Diablo 3 crap ton of times to where we had, like, Paragon 800 characters running the highest level stuff, doing legendary sets, doing different seasons. We've done that a bunch of times, bunch of different characters. We have played through retail up until we've maxed out characters. Probably from BFA was where we did our first ones where we really got into it together, and took those characters into. See, I don't think I'm strong enough to fight that thing. Until we got into Shadowlands. So I'd say I probably, like I said before, I probably have around 35-ish level 60s or higher, and probably 4 or 5 of those were with my wife. Us playing out. We started once to try to do a retail lore master, and then I kind of just got bored. I haven't quit, but we got to the point where it was really slow, and we were probably playing like once a month. The good thing, though, is I use that secondary. My son will play on the other account, so him and I will play. A couple of those characters are level, are with him. So I have a couple of my level 60s that I've taken with him. Both of those, usually after they get to level 60 or 70, they're fine just like abandoning and starting a new character. They are not interested in late game progression for various reasons. What for my son, it's about and I don't know if this is just a him thing or a generational thing, but he's just very into switching to new characters, new games. So he's always got a different game. Like, for me, I might sit down and play this game pretty much all day. That's it. I might just play different characters. I might just stick to one character. If I play games, I could easily just play World of Warcraft. And as you see, after years, almost 20 years now, I just been playing World of Warcraft. And I mix other games in on the side, but I usually have, maybe a game on my phone, and then a ton of games on PlayStation, but usually one at a time. So right now, my other game that I've been playing is to get ready for Diablo 4. I've been doing Diablo Immortal just to see if there's any like important storyline, which is, I know, an exercise in futility with Diablo because the storyline is minimal at best in that game. But I just want to at least get one character up through the content, and I'm pretty close. I have like a level 40, I think. It's just, I don't know, I want to like it. There's some things I really like. I really like the potential for some of the game systems. I like how it's a more living game, kind of like World of Warcraft. That has pros and cons for me. Let's fish for some more sagefish. I do like certain things about it, for sure. But you just can't shake the fact that it is a phone game. Even though I play it on PC, you just can't shake the fact that this is a phone. The game feels so small. It feels so zoomed in and condensed, and I'm sure you've noticed from the way I play, like, who am I in combat with? Who? One of those fish? It's gonna evade me, I think. No, it's not. Okay. I think that's something oh yeah, now he's evading. I think it's that fish. Like here in the chat, they're saying, what happened to the Knights of Stormwind is the new Where's Mancrick's Wife? I have noticed that Mancrick's Wife joke is kind of out there. Where's Womancrick's husband? Clever. So that's the game I've been playing on the side. It's whatever. It's fine. It's cool. Again, like I said, there's some fun things about it. Definitely pay to win. Definitely, like, I don't need all that in my life. That's the one thing that's annoying about phone games is they're free, and then they make you feel like they do everything in their power to make you feel like you better log in every day. Better log in every day. You're gonna not get your whatever if you don't log in every day. And I like how they're getting away with that on World of Warcraft for this expansion, because sometimes it does feel a little dirty, like they're starting to go down that route. But they are not. With this kind of having to do stuff weekly, and there's no real major progression going on. I'm going to put this into looking for group channel, just in case. Maybe there's somebody out there sitting around needing it. Because now I'm hoping we don't get stuck waiting. So anyway, I'm just kind of doing it. I'm not going to push it super hard. But like, there are some really cool things. There are really cool achievements. There are some completionist 100% bonuses. Now, I don't like some of them. They're almost World of Warcraft-like, where it's like, kill this one guard 4 times, but he only spawns on Tuesdays and Saturdays at noon and 4:30 a.m. or whatever. So that part I don't like. But that's whatever. If that's what I have to pay to get the achievements in the 100% completionist style, I'll take it. Okay, a dark threat looms. This is our only one other than the elites that we have to do.
Thank the stars someone is concerned about the well-being of the dam. First, the destruction of the Thandos span, and then the pillaging of Dunmulder. I have no doubt that the dam will be the target of the next Dark Iron threat. Most of the security detail here is reassigned to the Alliance front, including the top inspector. That's why I need you, Maleficent. I spotted some Dark Iron sappers milling about the eastern ramp of the dam. Investigate the area and bring back a clue.
Very good.
Oh, by the way, everybody, happy Easter. What made me just think of the fact that it was Easter, well, aside from the fact that my life has been very Easter-filled today, was that there's nobody on today. It's only, I guess, older people, more likely to have a family that are dealing with Easter, not dealing with, enjoying Easter stuff. I enjoy it, but that has kept me busy today. This style of dinner, the whole festive things that usually involve a large meat and some delicious but heavy sides, that is my forte, as you may have heard over the years, over the past season or so of this show, doing Christmas episodes and Thanksgiving episodes, and that is me. That's my jam. So I made an Easter ham, mashed potatoes, some green bean casserole, and a baked mac and cheese. So that takes a little bit of time, you know. What is he gonna suicide bomb me? He was. I'm glad I moved out of the way. I'm glad I read his text where he's like, it says his eyes glow red as he lights his dynamite and begins to cackle madly. And he shouts out, "Wee! I'm taking you down with me." I'm glad I moved. I'm looking for... Now I'm going to start trying to use humor. Alright, so here's the bombs that they were laying down, which is what you need, the suspicious barrel. A suspicious-looking barrel contains a strange-smelling powder. You take a sample of the strange-smelling powder, and we have to return it back to the dude. Sweet. Let's invite Ombre. Okay, so... Alright, so now we have... Alright, so now we have one. Well, I put two more. Alright, so I said that we need some more people. So we have a 17 gnome and a 17 mage. We are gonna need more. That is the recipe. I think I would try it with one more person. See what we got going on here. There's this gnome rogue, but I've done every other quest in this region now, so it's pretty much just... But we don't need any... The good thing is we can have any group of any composition. That's the good thing about the elite quests versus the non-elites.
Did you happen to discover any clues, Maleficent? This is an alarming discovery, to say the least. If my suspicions are correct, this is some type of explosive powder. This must be analyzed by an explosives expert, so we know just what we're dealing with here. Ashlyn Stone Smirk was assigned to the regiment guarding Dun Modra and the Thandal Span. I need you to make a grave and perilous journey, Maleficent. Travel through the Algaz Gate, follow the road through the wetlands, and seek out Stone Smirk and Dun Modra. Heed my advice, stick to the roads and stop for nothing.
Watch your back.
Okay. So, we are now in a holding pattern here. We're in a waiting game as we just wait for more people to join up. I don't know what I'm gonna do with this. I can toss that, I guess. If I could cook, is there a fire? Could be fire anywhere? I don't think I'm gonna have one. I don't really know what I'm gonna do. I might have to toss some of these potions. I could toss some of these bandages. I'm not part of a guild with this character, so... Alright. I guess I'm just gonna kill some randos. Yeah, I'll help the rogue out. And then I'll work on raising my staff. Okay, so, and you know, it'll happen. This is part of the classic experience. So, back to my projects. There's another project I've been doing. Like I said, I like to play with my wife. So one of the things that I decided is, as I'm playing with this, I started having all these ideas for, how would I do this better? How would I be, let's say I really wanted to do a hardcore, or let's say I really wanted to, I don't know, just... So I'm telling them that I would try with one more, but a full party of anything is best. That's what I'm saying to them in chat there. Like, I want to keep looking for whatever, but...
I don't have a target.
Hey, you know, we'll take what we can take. Like, I don't think we can handle even that. Again, it depends on the class. Like I said, it felt very super easy when I did this before. Okay. Ah, crud. Oh, man. Yeah, not going well. So I need to pull off. Okay. So, oh. We got one. So I'll go back and help, but they got one. That's good. Oh. They said without a hitch. They said let's try it. Let's see what we got here. So they're 18 now, that's good. Okay. I'm just gonna keep on keeping on here. Let's see what we got. Yeah, I don't really know. Like, us two, like, we might be able to pull... Yeah. Okay, we got a third. Let's do it. They're coming after me hard. Ouch. Okay. Alright, so we got a third that's coming in now. I feel like we'll start chipping away. Okay. Alright, so we're going to share with these. And they... Okay, cool. So we just need... I don't need these cam... Ooh, 27 armor. No, that's worse. Fine. Alright, so... Alright, here we go. We're gonna go ahead and... Uh-oh. Who got that person? Why are they gray? Who tagged them?
I need a target.
Yeah, that one didn't count. Alright. The problem is that we have these two. We can't fight two at once, so we got to be very strategic with the way that we do this. Oh, we broke the ice right away. Ow. Okay. And we'll just keep on keeping on after it. I'll just keep eating after every fight. We did a total of 12 guys, but whatever. I only have 2 so far. I think some of them don't count. I mean, we have 2 mages, which is good because that means we can... When we get to the boss, we can polymorph. Yeah, this is good. Now that rogue is drawing all the threat this time. Okay, we don't need the shamans. And I'm just going to keep on blasting it out in chat. I mean, whatever, we can kill these just for fun, I guess, for XP. That's good. Now he kicks.
I need to target something first.
Perfect. Okay. And again, I'm just going to keep drinking and restoring after every single fight. We'll just keep looking for more. Looking for more. Okay. She'll do the threat on this one. That's fine. Look at that. Crits are nice and juicy. That's good. I wonder if they have, like, details for Classic. I'm curious how I do. Okay. And we are just going to keep on blasting that out there. I feel like even if we had one more... Like, this is a little bit of a scary squad, but scary in the way that, like, kids use it nowadays, like Scaredy Cat or whatever. We are not We are not scary. We are scared. 17, back 3. I feel like I'll need on that. Okay. I got it. That's cool. Oops. Wrong thing. Oh, just thank. No thanks. Okay. Alright, so I'm going to put that on. I got a new cloak. It's cool because it's long also. And go ahead and make some more stuff. And I'm just going to keep blasting it. I know it's probably annoying, but whatever. It is what it is. Okay, so let's maybe... Oh man. Okay, so we'll come after this guy now. Okay, so we sheeped the one, so that's good. Okay, cool. The good thing is that we'll be able to... I mean, we have a lot of interrupts and stuff, so that's good. I'm going to summon some more bread, and probably some more water, too. And then I'm going to just drink and everything on them. Do I have anybody wanting this? I don't know. I think we have so many interrupts that we might be okay. That's true. So, yeah, he can trade. That way she can go in between. Alright, want to buy divorce boost? Alright, so let's go fight our way in. We've done pretty good though. We've really, like, I feel like I would even be able to kind of handle my... Okay. Let them pull the threat some. There we go. Cool, and now we're on to... That's all we need to do is just kind of bounce thread around like this. And we'll be good, like... And then with them being... With her... With the little rogue... No... Whatever. Rogue gnome. See, now they're starting to get to be level 20. I need to level up. I'll level up soon, actually. I can't kick, though. There you go. She got him. Nice. Nice gnome. Yeah, we just have to stay on top of eating and drinking after every fight. What's my next? This one? Oh, my crit damage. Okay. Okay, so let's go back in here. Just keep pushing.
Not the other thing. That's inappropriate.
Oh, where's our little rogue at? Okay. Oops, there she is. I should Okay, where's my little girl? Yeah. Let's give her... Okay. Sure, why not? I'll just spam as much mana as I can, and then when I run out, I'll use my little wand. Yeah. I mean, I'm only at 70. What did I say I need to be about 85? So I'm... Alright, so now we drink. Now we drink at the water. We drink at the water. I need 2 more brutes and 2 more enforcers. That poor rogue has to sit and wait on us. Okay. Get him. What's this? Just an ogre? Yeah, we don't really need these. I feel like if we make our way to the boss, we'll probably kill most of them in that time. Oh, I see. That's a dead giveaway right there on who's drawing the most threat. Spoiler, me. Okay. There's an enforcer. But yeah, we did fight a level 20. I am a little bit concerned that... Oh, they're getting some big rage. Sweet. Okay, let me drink some water. Don't need any more ogres, but we do need 2 more brutes, 1 more enforcer. Let her try to pickpocket it. Oh, she got a boot knife. Cool. Yeah, I feel like I spend so much time. I'm just gonna switch to my wand, yeah. At some point I need to just switch to my wand. Because I use like all my mana just killing 1. I am a little concerned about how hard it's going to be once we get into the dungeon. We're going to see. But yeah, so we're actually getting close to finishing this level, this episode, because of the nature of it all. She did let herself get beat up on. It's okay. They don't run at all, huh? They're just not afraid. 24-3. I'll take that. Okay, so I will take that. And... gotta toss something. What am I gonna toss? Because I'm out of room now. Oh, I had an extra stack right there. There we go. Okay. Okay, so... Alright, let's rock and roll. Do we want these two? Sure. Okay, so now we'll go after the road. I mean, we do need more enforcers, but there's probably some inside. Uh-oh, that guy broke out of his thing. I don't know why. I don't know what made him break out, but I like that they are drawing more aggro than I am. I don't know why. I wonder if he's like specced with that. Because I'm sure as heck not. And it must be kind of ridiculous. Knights disbanded. I don't know that that's true. That's so weird. Okay. I like our blow up comp. Yeah, it's just straight high level DPS. Get resisted. I'm gonna level up soon though, which is good. Man, I don't know why I'm... Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna... That'll be good because I'll be level 18. Oh, she's already back in there. Okay, so I just told him that I was about to ding. But yeah, this is a nice nukem. Uh-oh. Crud. Oh! Ouch. Wowzers. Okay, well... Completed all the guys, but now we need to kill the boss. Should have used a potion or something. Oh, there goes the other mage. Okay. Man, if only we would have killed one, I would have dinged like clutch ding. That would have been the perfect one of those where you have those clutch level ups. What if that rogue? I don't know. That rogue's doing a great job living, but now she's got to try to live. She's saying she wishes she had a res. I'm saying, how about some little jumper cables? That was one of the coolest old school, which I don't have any characters with it yet, but little goblin jumper cables that you could get to where whoever engineers can res. And I had those back in the day. There's actually a few random reses that you can have. I have this thing on my rogue on retail, and I got it from, I want to say it's Warlords of Draenor, because like I'm super completionist, but there's this one quest chain and you get this item from doing it. And it is a permanent item. You have to keep it in your inventory, and it has a 30-minute cooldown. But it's like this brazier or something like that, that lets you res your party members. That lets you res your party members. It's like a sensor or a brazier, or I don't know. Okay, so let's get my... yeah, I can't remember what that's called. We'll be okay. It's going to be a little bit tough. We might have some deaths on here with this boss, but the whole thing is we got to make our way back into the... Yeah, intellect by 7. And I did not ding, so... I guess I'll put it in looking for group 2. In case somebody has those off. Alright, cool. So we survived. We're back in biz. Well, we did not survive. Oh, look at this. The Billy Truck's here. Another gnome. All mages all day. Let's see where they're at. I don't even see him. They're in the wetlands. Okay. I mean, they're coming after me. Jeez Louise. Got that ding, baby. Okay.
Hooray!
Alright, I need to get rid of some of these. Okay, so I did hit level 18 now, which is good, so I'm going to gain a little bit more crit damage. I think it's this way. Old Billy Trucks here. I mean, that other thing was a level 20, which is a big part of... I don't know if he's going to be able to get here to us, we'll see. Okay, so I got a drink. He's still up in the wetlands, so he's not very close. Okay, cool. Alright, so we're just watching that Pat. That's good. Good job on the rogue there for... We gotta just watch out for spawns, honestly. It's good that we can kind of freeze him and keep the gnome able to get that backstab advantage. Okay, here we go. So the gnome is the gnome. That's everybody on this team. Jeez, no! Ah! Crap. Arrgh. Well, I feel like that was really not fair that they only were on me for aggro. I was running and they were having a chance to punch him a lot, so not cool, bro. There was other people around. You could have gone after one of them. I also should have popped my potion. I was kind of stupid for not popping it. I was actually literally about to drink it. So as you can see, we're definitely playing fast and loose with Millie now. The whole Millie is our last non-dead person. That's out the window. Gone. Although I still love her. All that time that we had with this character has placed it nice. Where are you, bro? And why will you not get here? Billy Trucks, move your butt. Gonna have to kick you out. Well, actually, what the heck? It's not like breaking down the door. Not like they're kicking down the door. And we're doing okay with our group. I just need to not die. That'd be great. We're making our way back there. Well, don't fight the boss. I wonder if he's just thinking about trying to fight a person. Yeah, see, they must have fought one and took it down. That's good. Clear him out. I don't care. It doesn't hurt my feelings. That little rogue is kicking butt. Yeah, that's true. He says the rogue says the casters are easy with all the... That's true, especially if you have somebody else, like, on the party, too, kind of sharing that threat. They are easy. Although, that one did still, like, bust me upside the head with that staff so hard. I feel like that one had to get a crit or something. That was, like, that one I wasn't even low. I was, like, a third of my life. And I got just clocked out. But that last one, I should have popped the potion. That was on me. I was stupid on that one. That was just me. Bad play. Looking bad. Okay, I don't want to pull over there. Okay, so... Alright, let's drink and eat and be merry. Okay, so this guy joined, but he's literally not moving closer at all. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna pull this one. Okay, cool. Now let the rogue get the threat, which is good. And yeah, so he's just kind of dancing with the threat. Okay. Yeah, I gotta what I have to do is balance that. I've gotta let them get some of that threat. Okay. So, alright, here we go. Crap. Okay. Okay, so now we're gonna get... Okay, so we gotta try to bust him. Uh-oh. Ugh. Okay. So, that time we screwed it up. That was just a bad pull. I screwed that one up for sure. Alright, so... I want to try to poly him. Alright, so we'll see. Alright, yeah, I don't know. I just feel like it would be easier to focus down, so I'm asking them, should we poly Choxel first, and then try to I think we could focus down his ad easier. We are going to be out of mana. That's for sure going to happen. I'm going to eat one of these smoked sagefish when I come in, because that will help me with the mana regen while I'm in the combat. Okay. Alright, so we're going to try to focus him down. Yeah, because that's true also, because then we can at least loot him and be done. Yeah, that's true. That's a different mentality from the... others. Okay, so yeah. I do like that we yeah, we basically have to keep this ad. We have to keep the ad perma polyed. So this is what's taking this whole episode like a slower amount of time. Like we'd be fine. Everything's quick, but since we did not get lucky with getting a good party, and we're trying to kind of brute force our way through with 3 squishy DPS that are none of us level appropriate. This is level 22 elite. That leads to some issues. So that is what it is. I should have freaking cast my spell first. Dang it. I at least want that going on. Okay. Alright, cool. Alrighty. Alright. Let's see. Yeah, let's talk about the plan. Okay. Alright, let's try it. Okay. Alright, so that's what we're gonna do. Yeah, got it. So he's gonna poly the X, and I'm gonna poly the moon if he gets aggroed as well. That's true. But I don't want to sap unless we really need to. Because you got to be in stealth for that. Okay. Alright, so this is... I'm ready to roll. Alright, let's try it. Alright, so let's try that. So we're gonna see. Ah. Oh crap. Dang it. Okay. I don't know what happened. Maybe we've got to go back and clear some of the ones behind. So they resisted my poly. Yeah. They all pulled and they resisted. So this is crap. Come on, Billy. What are you doing, Billy Trucks? Let's see if we can find some more. I'll keep trying to ask if we can get some more. see, I think... So yeah, so basically when I did this with Nessingwary, we got up on the ledge back there, and we were able to pull just just the one on the right. And yeah, so that didn't, I mean, it was pretty good. We're gonna need some, bummer. Great. Okay. So, we are now in a tough spot, because now we have no one. Now we're screwed. There's no doing this without another person. Because if this guy has to leave... Okay. Alright, so they said they're a little ways away. What does that mean? In Westfall. So we gotta find out, like, what is he doing? What is Omber doing? Okay, so... Okay, so we'll see. Where did that dude respawn at? He's outside. Alright, so... Why? Oh, man. What we got going on here? Let's see what we can do.
He's low.
Oh, man. Okay. Okay. Okay, so basically I'm saying... gonna take the res sickness. And I'm gonna just repair here. Sell off those couple little things I have.
What can I get for you today?
8 silver of repairs. Oof. And I don't have like anything to sell.
See you soon.
So I got back some from like 1 silver. I mean, I guess, sure, hypothetically, I don't know. I probably made money in the long run, but that was a lot. 8 silver in repairs. Oof. Oof. 8 minutes? Seven minutes, so that's lame. I just did this on the other account, and it was like 1 minute of res sickness, so I don't know what the math is, what the calculation for what gets you res sickness or not, but okay. That's lame. But by the time I walk there, most of that time I'll be off. So, show goers. Unfortunately, that does mean that it's going to be 7 minutes of me going back and waiting. But this paladin is not even at the map yet. I don't know where he's at. They're flying or walking? I don't know. Where's Zark? It says he's over there, but did he log? Who knows? Okay. Let's see what we got. So yeah, we'll just see what we pull. Down to 6 minutes, that's good. See if we can get anybody else. Yeah, the downside of this looking for more chat is I'm getting them to join from freaking a million miles away. I can't even fight like a level 11 right now. I don't even want to mess with it. Don't fall in that lake. I don't have my cape on. I can't I can't be saving anyone. I'll quickly need a save. I'll be the one that needs a save. Okay, so I don't know if Zark is really going to be there. Who knows? We might lose that dude, but with a paladin, it's a little bit tankier. Maybe we can make something happen. They can at least draw threat. That's the problem, is we got nothing that's drawing threat. So we're just kicking the threat around, ping-ponging it. Alright, down to 5 minutes. But so help us, we are going to finish this quest, because then my hearth is set to Ironforge, so then she can just... Or, actually, where does this mage quest want me to go back to? In Stormwind. That's okay, we can still hearth to Ironforge, and then take the tram over to Stormwind, so when we get to that point it won't be that much longer. And then while this is all uploading, I'm going to very quickly post another one today. I'm going to make one on my video. I'm going to make a reading one too, so you guys are going to get 2 today, no matter what. Umber is swimming across the lake. Yes. Cool. Alright, Triona's there. So this will be okay if we're with Zark. Okay, let's see what we got. Up to 4 minutes. Okay. Alright, he says he's stuck outside the entrance. I don't know what that means. Like, is he, like, stuck on the geometry of the game? Or is he, like, stuck? Okay, 3 minutes. So, yeah, this is actually perfect. By the time I actually get there, my red sickness should be off. Oh, no. Stay off me, bro. Stay off me, bro. I can't fight anything. I can't fight anything, bro. Okay, get off me, Gator. I think he lost interest. I think I should keep this on too. I think that will be helpful. Okay, so I think we'll be okay right here. And now we have Triona. So what we got? So Triona's crossing the bridge, so we're 2 minutes away from the res sickness being done, and we will. That's probably about how long it's going to take Triona to get to us. So we're doing pretty good. All right, so down to 1 minute. Now the second count is there. That's all good. And yeah, with a paladin, I mean, they're only 17. They're a rat paladin, but they'll still draw some threat. I mean, I assume they're a rat paladin. They have the retribution aura on instead of protection. But we'll see. They're only 17. That's another big part of our worry. They've been power word fortituded up by some priest somewhere. That would be nice if we had any sort of healer whatsoever. But whatever. We're so close, man. Okay, so Triona's in his house.
Someday, I hope to find the nuggets on a chicken.
Okay, so we're gonna share.
Hooray!
And I am going to eat my smoked sagefish, even though that takes away an inventory spot. That's actually better for now. And okay, so rock and roll. See what we got. Okay, so we're gonna now try this again. Now I'm gonna let them draw the thread a little bit. Then I'll get going again. I think once that happens now I'm gonna switch to my wand to make this a little bit less dangerous for me. Okay. Nope, work on healing yourself, bro. So we're gonna see how this goes. Okay. Ow. Now we're gonna let them pull, and then I'm gonna switch back over to the wand. This will actually cut down on my time too. It'll help my wand continue to increase. Perfect. I think this is going to be a little better. I'm going a little bit too hard on the threat, and it's actually hurting the team, so...
Charge forth!
Cool. wait. I'm gonna let them pull threat. Oh, come on. There we go. Okay. They could not get the threat that time. Maybe they had some misses or something, I don't know. Maybe this paladin's terrible. Who knows? Okay, let's pull it again. Okay, we'll back it up. I'm gonna let them pull that threat. Good. I'll switch to my wand. That'll be good. And there, she's hitting with this garrote. So we'll look at that. Not too shabby. I don't want these. What am I doing with these spider legs? Where did that even come from? Oh, from that one spider I killed. So this time, because they're the ones starting the aggro, should be able to pull. Uh-oh. Okay, so that's good.
I need a target.
We should be able to have our friend come join us. Okay, let's get the aggro on. Good. It says cooldown remaining. I guess. Oh, it's the global cooldown. Bro, get off. Okay. Oh, 85. What do I need to be at? I think I need to be at 90 now. Okay. So now we're gonna eat these. Actually, I didn't even really need that. Can she cook these small spider legs? No, that's a. I'm gonna throw those out. That's a whatchamacallit, that's a Darnassus quest. Oh yeah, so in doing all this, I forgot to tell you guys about the other cool project that I'm doing. So one of the other things that this is, uh-oh, there comes old Zach attack. Is one of the other cool projects is my something that my wife and I have been doing. That's why I brought her up. So in watching all of the different, side things that we can do. I just thought to myself, like, oh, there's some really cool ways we could level up, and I could do everything, and kind of like we're doing everything now. That's just something I love to do. I love to do everything. I love to be completionist. I love to experience the whole story, and I thought to myself, like, there's actually another cool way that we could have this, which would be one character instead of like all. Now for us, we are the character, the viewer, we're the story. So if we get the lore, we get the lore, and that is what it is. They're so that warrior really, or not, the paladin's really wanting the, which whatever. I'm getting XP for it. It's gonna help Millie in the long run. Trust me. But I thought to myself, it would be much more survivable, and in a lot of ways, it would be more comprehensive to just do everything on one, or like one horde and one alliance. So that's just, but I'm like, oh, I'm already doing all this other stuff. I don't want to do that. I don't want to even do it on my own, but I thought it would be a really fun project to do. So I thought to myself, this would be a way to get reinvested in. Oh, that's why I'm the idiot. I'm going to the wrong cave. To get reinvested in what my wife in playing more, because my wife and I play frequently, and ever since we started this project, and it's been going for a couple weeks, we've been playing every night. So it's fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. I think she's having fun with it too. So we made a couple gnomes and we made a couple trolls. Coincidentally, just like the homeless tribes people. And we're all TPS. Triona's charging in there. Okay. So we've been doing that pretty much every night. Of course, not when I was away on my trip. So that's been super fun. I think I'll just agreed on the Shadow Gem. Okay, so already though, we having an active party of 4, big difference. Why they're going after me. Okay. Cool. Alright, so we are not super duper far. We did all the starting zones for each, because to do it that way, I guess the negative trade-off is that... Oh, I want this dampen magic back on me. Oh, he did it. He put it on her. The negative trade-off is that you have to do so much traveling, and traveling is so much more cumbersome than it is nowadays in retail. So like I was saying, there's like this sweet side of retail. Well, that sweet side of retail does not exist. One of the downsides of retail is yeah, this lack of traveling. It's terrible. Like there's just simple things like, hey, a flight path from Goldshirt to Stormwind. No, all of those things are walking only. It's very I would say I wouldn't be surprised if there were less than half as many flight paths. Of course, there are less zones. I'm not even counting those. Just on a zone by zone basis, like. He's trying to cast a spell. Good. Look at that rogue kick. Just killing it with the kicks. Okay. Okay, so we're gonna come this brute here. Okay, we're gonna pull an ad. I know we're gonna pull an ad. Hey, good. I'm glad I don't know what they're doing. Uh-oh. Why are you after me? I didn't even hit you hardly at all. I don't know why that brute wanted me so bad. Okay. Alright. Okay, so we got this set up. Okay. So we poly ads. Oh, here's the... Alright, so this is going much better. Okay, so here we go. We're gonna try this now. Oh, man. Oh, man. I gotta run. Okay, we gotta try Chalk Soul again. Okay. Okay, we're gonna try Chalk Soul. Let's get him some more. Come on, get him. got his head. Okay, so I guess we're gonna take this brute down. I'm actually doing okay on my mana. I feel like this guy's gonna... Okay, so I got that other guy. Go back here and mess with him. We freaking did it, bro. Awesome. This was a much... Just having that one extra person, it doesn't also specifically someone else that can heal. Okay. Cool. Alright, so I am running away. Thank you. Okay, I had to use a healing potion.
Hooray!
Alright, so we did it. This was it was actually kind of fun. Like, that right there, that little run was more fun than when I came in here and just smashed this on the first try with 5 level 25s or whatever it was. Me tagging along to that group. So that I enjoyed that. That was cool. We'll go help this person get their last enforcer, and then we're gonna go turn in and then make our way back to Ironforge. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, we'll make sure they get their enforcer. There's their enforcer. And then now I'm gonna just switch over to my thing. See how we do on that. My little wand. I don't know why they love me so much. I mean, to be fair, Millie is precious. So I guess I do know why. She's precious. She's a precious little moment. But I miss you guys. I miss doing this show. I hope that the times when I have to take this much time off are few and far between. This is a good, and I have. I mean, I've been front loading this stuff. As we get further and further along, too, we're gonna hit more. Like, there's more variety of maps instead of us. Like, the biggest part right now is the Badlands. I mean the Barrens. That is creating such a... I mean, 3/4 of the Horde are spending half their leveling life out there. So, that's a big part of it. All right. I don't even know. I don't even know what that is. Huh. It says it's oh, I did that. So they're basically saying that Triona just instantly died. Aww. We're getting chased out of here. Alright, so there's still all these... Alright, they left. That's cool. I'm not gonna stick around there and So basically, that's this quest right here, A Dark Threat Looms. They're going to want us to go back. I guess we're going to have to come back. I do need some sagefish. I do want to cook that up, actually. That's a good use of my... No, I need mild spices. Anyhow. So that was cool. So we're not quite done because we have 10 left. Probably should have. I need to run a little bit. Maybe if I use a bandage on myself, that'll help. Oh, I've got poison on me. That's the dot, which breaks bandage, like... Come on. There we go, it didn't follow me. Okay. I did want that sagefish, but I don't want to fight 20 things for it. Said enjoy the show. Oh. Ah! I gotta get the heck out of here. These, I guess I'm not gonna mess with the sagefish. There's just... as much as I would like to, these things are ferocious. So that is, I guess, the big trade-off for, you have, for this versus retail, you have all of the extra help, and you can just, like we just did, smash our way through even though we died 20 times. But you are not. I'm scared to cross the lake via water. Should I do it? I mean, it'll save me some time, but I don't think it's worth it. Because of the monster. The Loch Modan monster. Alright, so we're going to go there, then we're going to Hearth to Ironforge and just turn in that mage quest. But yeah, this was a mega video. Oh, look. Look at us. Patience is a virtue. We're going to get to fish right here anyway. But yes, we... and really, yeah, just it came down to that cave. That was super quick for me when I did this on my hunter. Like, I found a group. I wasn't even looking. I came out here and there was already a group spamming, and it filled up with 5 right away. We went right in, no hitches. We actually had to wait in line because there were so many people doing the quest that it was, the longest part was waiting for the respawn to happen. See, this person says, looking for leveling and loving guild are answers on why, like, I don't think they really disbanded. I think this is now a running joke about, like the person said, like, whatever they said, about Mancrick's wife or whatever, which I just thought that was just a running joke, and I guess it was, but, so now I guess the new running joke is, why did the Knights of Stormwind disband? And I guess, like, I'm actually, one of my characters, I think, is in, like, Knights of Stormwind 5 or something like that. Like, there's so many Knights of Stormwind guilds that they're all filled up. Alright, so like I said, I'm going to pop over very quickly and do, while this is uploading, I'm going to do a video for a reading here soon, and then that will be a shorter one. And I'll try to upload both of those today, so hopefully you all see 2 episodes in your feed, and then I'm going to log for the old evening here, and I should be back. I might make one tomorrow, because now what's going to happen is Millicent is going to go over to Redridge, which means she actually has a set of quests. I'm only doing a couple quests in Redridge. It's a very small set off camera, but it does kind of throw my rotation of characters out of whack. And the Red Ridge quest, the first one, you'll see it when I do Kalia's. So it will be a short episode for her. There's just basically like some killing of gnomes and kind of exploring Red Ridge, the little city. The second episode in Red Ridge is going to suck because it is... it's like it's so much travel. It's going to wind up being this low-level me talking while I fly around the world and walk around the world. It's kind of annoying because there's a lot of... I wouldn't even call them breadcrumbs because it's like retracing your step crumbs, kind of stuff like that. It's like a mixture. Whatever. So I am a little bit bummed, I guess, that we're going to be heading back with the dark threat that looms back into to grind a bunch of ogres, but that is what it is. We're also going back to Westfall when we do the Dead Mines, but Millie's going to have to learn some moves. I'll do that off camera. She's doing fine. She's got a pretty good amount of gold. We're going to get some stuff right now, too. But yeah, so we're going to turn these quests in. You'll get to read that with me. We did get to see some... Definitely one of the tougher ones. I would say this is the toughest finale. Like, Westfall is tough. It doesn't have anything quite like this, and we haven't experienced anything quite like this when it comes to Darkshore. I don't think there is. So I think Loch Modan is kind of the toughest. So if you're kind of zigzagging and making your way through, sort of like I'm doing with Mrs. Gleekon, I would suggest doing these last. Loch Modan would be like I would go like either Westfall or Darkshore. And
What's on your mind?
yes, then Loch Modan, but whatever. Alright, so
This is excellent news. Your efforts are greatly appreciated by myself and the people of Delsmar. Better yet, if we can solve the ogre problem, we'll be able to shift our focus to those light-burning trogs.
20 silver, that's nice.
Yes, is there something I can do for you? What is that thing? And why would you bring it? Bloody... Well, light burning is at the head of that bloody ogre. There certainly is a catch then. Here, your reward and the thanks to myself and the people of Delsmar.
Yeah, I do have 2 spots.
Watch your
You
back.
took the head. Alright, so we got those 2 things, which that's actually good because one of these is a ring. We don't have a ring. Take the intellect and spirit that comes with that ring. And 2 of these boots are better than the boots I have on my feet. So we got some new shoes, some new boots, and some gold. Now we're going to hearth back to Ironforge. And we're going to turn in this mage quest, which will give us a new robe as well. Yippee skippy, Millicent is getting a lot better. And then I'll play around with her jobs and her skill learning and yada 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 after the fact. So that'll be an off-camera pinch of things I do. Where are we? Oh, it's in Stormwind. Ugh. That's okay because she needs to go to Red Ridge next anyway. So maybe I'm going to change my Hearthstone to Stormwind. All right, so we gotta go take the tram. Yeah, and we are gonna do this on camera right now because I don't want to do it off camera. Because off camera is off camera is gonna be. If you think about Red Ridge, Kalia will be doing the next set, which they all have done. Then it will loop back around, and it will actually be Erator that does like the second one, the Nessingwary. So it'll be 3 or 4 sets in. I'm not going to wait that long to turn in this quest for her. So we will not see, because now sort of like with Crossroads, we are going to be having 4 characters all in Red Ridge. I don't know why I planned it that way. Is that what I did? I guess so. I think it's because on paper, Loch Modan finishes a little bit earlier. I don't know. We could obviously use the XP in the level, so I'm not stretching it. I think Red Ridge is a relatively short zone. But whatever. We will mess with this. Anyway, so it's going to be a while before you guys see Millicent again. She'll probably be... Actually, it'll... We're probably going to get Dead Mines quests somewhere in there too. And that's a couple zones away, a couple fights. So then that throws one in. Either way, it's going to be 4 videos before we see Millicent. Maybe we'll see her on Dead Mines. Maybe we'll have Millie running our Dead Mines mission. Because we are levels 17, 18. We need everybody to kind of be up at that level. I desperately need a new weapon for my rat pally. He's at a pathetically low level of... He's still rocking that stupid cracked sledge. I can cook 6 sagefishes, that's good. That'll replenish this smoked sagefish, which is a really good buff. She's got some engineering, she's got some splaining to do. I'll make some copper tubes, she can afford it. Copper modulator's a good one also. So I think I have copper belts. I'll check my bank while I'm over there. I'll use the extra linen that I have left over. I'll learn how to make wool bandages, so that will bust that out, and some anti-venoms. I had 7, I think, potions to start. That's how many I burned doing that. Oh, I got this mail gloves too. I'm gonna keep that up there because that's that wetlands quest, which she's gonna do. I think I actually have her tabbed to be my wetlands person, and I think she's the only one. So that will be cool. So the trade-off for not seeing her for a while through Red Ridge is that she's the only one that's gonna do wetlands. Not even Nessingwary. So cool, right? So she will run around and do that. So when we get to that part, every single episode, you'll see her. Looking for healer Skullmans at Rattlegore. I thought Rattlegore was one of the first bosses. I don't remember. I haven't done old school Skullmans in a buck billion years. They want healer for... That's another cool thing, just being on this looking for group channel. Looking for group Maraudon. We've had this debate before. Meanwhile, I think we're on chapter 5 with the... Yeah, so we got to go back over to the Mage Quarter. I think this takes us into Stone Talon. I'm not going to... I mean, I'll pick that quest up. That's PvP. We don't need to pick that quest up. What's that? I don't know what that is. Aberdeen. So that's if I wanted this character to go over to Darkshore. That's not happening. Those are kind of breadcrumbs for some areas that she's not going to go to. So this is the end of this mage quest chain too, just getting our mage robe. Is this even going to be better at this point? It doesn't say. It says that we get a mage robe. Better give me my stinking robe. I don't think hers is very good. It doesn't have, it's called Robe of the Keeper. It's 28 with 4 stamina. Doesn't say anything about level. So he's like, that says 16. This doesn't require any level, so maybe that's a quest item. Even that requires level 7, requires 14. That doesn't. So I think it's quest items that like don't require. Yeah, see, no level requirement. So that means I got that from some quest somewhere. Alright, we are almost there. I think I might even do the rest of her off camera, like the next time I play her. Like do all her leveling up, and since she's going to be off camera anyway, I think I'm going to log 2 and jump over so I can really get to busting out that other video with you guys. But I do want to turn this one in for us, which we're almost there. Make her, I'll probably reset my Hearthstone to be in Stormwind for her. She'll learn portals soon, so then Hearthstones for her will become more moot. She can literally set them in the zone she's at, and then she can hearth back. Like, that will be super useful. I can't wait. That was another thing that Mrs. Gleekon and myself had to do. We went and, like, when we wanted to take our gnomes over to Darnassus, it's a much harder time. The Horde has a lot easier if you want to do this, do every quest in the world plan. Gnomes have a much easier time. I mean, Horde has a much easier time because the Horde can just walk and take Zeppelins from the jump, but we had to get a mage to
Help
give
you
us a
find
portal.
something?
Alright. Hello, Maleficent. Janaea told me you would come. Do you have something for me? Yes, these are great pieces of linen. I can make a fine robe with them, and after I weave the rift gems into them, we'll have a garment fit for a mage. Alright, here's the quest. Mono-weave robe.
Be careful.
What'd she say? She's gonna get started
Need
on my
help?
robe.
Safe
She
travels.
says it's done. It's all finished. Magnificent.
You need something?
Ah, okay, that's good. I like it. Here's your robe. It's one of my best made yet. Wear it with pride, and when people ask, tell them you got it. Lawson.
Light less.
Alright, so it is a little better on the armor. More importantly, I'm going to trade that stamina bonus. Ooh, look, it's nice and purple. Isn't that cute? I think the guy I was just questing with had this robe. So that's cool. Alright, everybody, we missed you. Thank you so much. Millie missed us all. We missed it too. Bye. We'll blow everybody a kiss. Mwah. See ya. We got another episode in Pipe 5x5. Thanks, everybody, so much for watching, listening, guys. I'll see you next time on Lore of Warcraft.